All right, today we're diving into a really strange and philosophical world. We're going to unpack the huge, profound questions raised in the surreal text, Cruel Molecule, Nature's Trial. Okay, just picture this for a second. You're wandering through some kind of fiery, hellish landscape, right? And instead of a roar, you're greeted with a question. A dense, philosophical question just like this one. That's the bizarre reality for the lone traveler at the heart of this story. It's a world where the monsters are philosophers. And that right there is the core idea we're going to dig into. See, the traveler is confronted by all these different creatures, but here's the twist. They all claim to be part of one single collective consciousness. They say they are nature, and they're putting not just the traveler, but really all of humanity on trial. All right, so let's set the stage for this, for this very bizarre conversation. So here's the situation. Our protagonist is basically trapped in a trial, but it's not a trial of strength, it's a trial of philosophy. Every single creature they run into gives them another piece of this giant cosmic puzzle, and a lot of the time, these pieces completely contradict each other. So you know what? Let's dive right into that first big piece. Okay, so the first major conflict our traveler runs into, man, it's one of the oldest questions in philosophy, but here it's being debated by these strange aspects of nature itself. And this is the central question, the central debate, really. The monsters are totally split on this. You get these two powerful, completely opposing views on how the universe actually works. And you can see that stark contrast right here. On one side, you've got creatures like the insect monster, who's basically saying that reality is just governed by pure, meaningless randomness, entropy. But then on the other side, you have entities like the evil mage, who says, no, that's all just an illusion. He claims that every life is actually predestined, and predestined for waste. And this is what makes the traveler's dilemma so brilliant and so awful. You see the problem, right? Both of these philosophies, when the monsters present them, they seem to lead to the exact same hopeless place. It's like if the outcome is misery either way, does it even matter how you get there? So, starting from that dilemma, the conversation just keeps building. And it gets even weirder, because now it starts questioning the very fabric of the reality they're all in. So get this, one of the creatures actually defines their world as a form of unreality. They describe it as pixelated with fewer graphical points of reference. It's this idea that their world is less substantial, more speculative. It's almost like a low-res simulation that's stuck somewhere between a concrete reality and, a dream. And then the monsters. They take this idea and they turn it inward. They start to question if consciousness itself is a gift, or if it's a curse. Think about it. In this strange unreality, could being aware just be some kind of cruel bug in the system? A bug that forces you to experience an eternity of suffering stuck in one spot for thousands of years? What you end up with is this metaphysical landscape that completely blurs the line between your mind and the world outside of it. It's a place where thoughts feel almost tangible, where dreams might just be another layer of what's real. And it forces the traveler, and really it forces us, to ask, what is real anyway? Well, all of this deep philosophical uncertainty leads right into the text's most oppressive, most constant theme, this idea of an ocean of misery, the just overwhelming weight of existence and suffering. And the monsters, they don't just talk about suffering like it's some passive thing they have to endure. No, for many of them, like the Dark Assassin Lord here, it's an active, even a malevolent force. The point he's making is that hell isn't some place you go to after you die. It's something you create right here in life, and he relished it. And this chorus of despair, it just keeps building and building. You get creatures like the warrior ogre who don't just feel hopeless, they actively mock the very idea of hope. They call it a delusion, basically telling the traveler, are you still clinging to that? When are you going to forsake your delusions? It's brutal. So what the traveler is ultimately faced with here is a vision of life that isn't a journey with a beginning and an end. It's a repeating, inescapable nightmare. It's like what the monster tree says. It's a merry-go-round of existential nightmares, and there is just no getting off. So after wading through all of these incredibly intense debates about fate and reality and suffering, where does that even leave our protagonist? Well, the thing is, the journey offers no grand conclusion. There are no easy answers. And that's really the whole point. The source material doesn't try to resolve any of this because the message is the conflict. The goal isn't for us to find a nice, comforting answer. It's to make us feel the profound, uncomfortable weight of the questions themselves. And that brings us to the very end, to the Ripper Monster's final haunting question. It's a question that isn't just for the traveler in the story. It's really turned outward, to us, to anyone who willingly explores these dark, difficult corners of thought. Why do we consciously go there again and again? Why do we do it?